Before we get started with today's interview, just a quick reminder, click the thumbs up, make sure you subscribe and ding the bell so that you don't miss any of the great interviews that we have coming up. Now, on to today's interview. Welcome back, everybody. I'm really excited to introduce my special guest today, Christopher Goldston, awesome, wonderful, renowned composer. Christopher, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time to meet with us today.
And thanks for letting me share with you.
So today I want to talk with you about your piece, The Bell Tolls. This is a really dark and mysterious piece. And I think one of the things that excited me most when I sight read this piece is that it has a very mature sound to it. And I'm always looking for repertoire on the Federation list that I can use with my adult students, with my high school students, something that doesn't sound juvenile, but yet is still accessible. And I think you've really done a fantastic job with this piece. So you begin with the Gregorian chant, Dies Irae. Talk to us a little bit about that decision to include that famous melody within your work.
I've always been really fascinated with the Dies Irae. This chant, even though it is so incredibly old, is still very much with us and all around us all the time today, because it's in commercials, it's in TV shows, it's in movie scores, it's all over the place. And once you realize it, you notice, oh, that's Dies Irae, that's Dies Irae. So I really wanted to use a piece that is pensive and a little bit dark for that. So you have the ostinato of the Dies Irae all the way through the piece, and which builds up to a climax. But then to change registers, it turns into a scale that just simply steps up to the next octave or steps back down to the next octave. So it, I think, really flows in that aspect. But the Dies Irae, I think, just really can bring all kinds of imagery to this piece about, you can conjure up whatever you want about this, and it can be for any time of year. It could be for Halloween if you want.
Absolutely. It's just a really dark and evocative, but yet really intriguing work. It opens with these left-hand crossings to play D and A in a lower register with the right hand. Talk to us a little bit about how we should be making those moves and learning to become more mobile at the keyboard.
Even at the beginning, you could practically start with your hands crossed. But later in the piece, when you had, throughout the piece, the bell does toll, so you have to keep going to that lower register to play the bells. But you always have plenty of time to do that. You can cheat because the pedal is helping you out. So you have plenty of time to move, and it's better to make good use of your time and to take the airtime. Music is not only listening, but people are going to be watching you perform this as well. So you want it to be graceful and choreographed.
I love this suggestion and encouragement to prepare that next hand position to be ready so we're not taking a sudden stab at it and creating an accent that we don't want to do. What are some of the challenges that you faced as you composed this work?
My editor had some really great ideas about this work, because my first draft of it was more simple. And then the last section that leads up to a larger climax was something that I ended up adding and developing, with the suggestions of, colleagues. So I think that was really helpful. So I think that for me was a challenge, but actually I really love the climax in this piece and the way that it trails back down.
Excellent. I love hearing that this is something that you had to think about and revise and come back to and revisit before it came to the form that we have all come to love and appreciate it in.
I do think that's important. I mean, sometimes you do write something and it doesn't change very much from the first draft, but a lot of times it's good to set something aside and then come back to it. But for this climax of the piece, what I really like about it is that the ostinato goes into both hands to build up. And then you have intervals in one of the hands that keeps getting larger and then smaller, while the other hand has a scale that goes from a very high register all the way to the lowest notes of the piano. And there's one section where the tolling bells at the very end come a little bit closer. But actually, if you look at the pattern of the music, the bell tolls come every 3/8 notes. So you count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I believe that the fingering also of the scale will help you realize when you need to play the bell toll.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about the bell tolls?
Play the grace notes gently throughout. They shouldn't be fast grace notes. You have to think about the character of the piece when you're looking at all these elements of a piece.
Is there a video of you performing this work available on YouTube?
Yes. For all of my self-published things, I have at least one video that is a follow the score video, so you can follow the music along while it plays. But then also I have various videos that I made at a piano store here in Chicago. So one of the recordings that I did do was of the bell tolls.
Excellent. Well, we'll make sure we link that video in the description below so that all of our members can enjoy listening to you perform this work. That's really helpful. Christopher Goldston, thank you so much for joining us today. Christopher Goldston's piece is The Bell Tolls. Find it at Christopher Goldston's website, which we will also link in the description. Thank you, Christopher.
Great, thanks. I hope you enjoy the recording too.